Welcome to the Guthrie America podcast. We sit down with amazing people who do life in our community and who are from here because we believe every story should be told. I'm your host, Hetty Coleman. Today I'm sitting down with Dr. Brian Padgham. Do you want me to say doctor before it? Is that?
Oh, that's appropriate.
That's
however
appropriate.
However you want to say it.
There's sometimes we're like, no, you don't have to, it's not just, I should have asked before I started recording.
That's all right.
It's out there now. Before we jump into this conversation with Brian, will you please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and leave a review? It would mean the world to me. Shout out, much love to our sponsors, Kevin Kraft and his team over at State Farm. Thank you for believing in us and sharing every story, helping us fulfill the mission. Also, the North Church Guthrie for letting us host in their building. And so I am so thankful for community partners who allow me to fulfill the mission of having every story told of the amazing people who do life in our community. Shout out also to Heath Shelton, who is capturing everything behind the scenes with his camera, the photographer. So all the great photos that you see are from Heath. And so if you need a photographer, go check him out. Dr. Padgham, Brian, which one should I call you? Which one's best for you?
Brian's fine.
Brian, okay. If your wife was sitting over there and I said, describe Brian to me, what would she say?
Oh, that's a tough one. You got to stop and think, what would people say about me? Maybe we should self-reflect a little more often on what would someone say about me. I would expect she'd say I'm fun-loving, full of joy, passion for my family. I'd hope she'd say I'm confident and strong and providing.
Yeah.
And passionate about doing life with our kids and in our community.
That's true. Now, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody use the word confident in that way. Like, I hope somebody describes me as confident. Like, I know this is kind of on the spot, but why confident? Like, what made you use that word?
I've had some folks say that to me before.
Okay.
That, oh, you're confident. Not in a arrogant way, in a humble way.
Yeah.
And so I have resounded on that a little bit to make sure that I'm not coming across as like, whoa, you're like overconfident and kind of arrogant, but sure of yourself and what you're going to say and who you are.
Yeah. I think that's so important. This weekend, we're doing this roundtable talk and the topic is being confident as a man.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. And so you saying that is something, hearing that kind of just resonated with me because of that. Because I think it is important for us as men to be confident. I mean, people in general, like having confidence about yourself is really important. You stand out to people when you walk around with some confidence. Again, making sure you're doing an ego check. It's not like braggadocious or egomaniac, right. But it's just like, no, I'm just confident. Even though I think some people are not coming off that way, it just feels that way just because maybe it's more so on the people who think that about that person.
Sure. I think it's good to self-reflect, to know who you are and what you stand in. Mm-hmm. And, what is it that makes you who you are? And you can walk around in that confidence, and it helps you make decisions in wherever you go in life.
Yep. No, that's good. Now, you grew up in Guthrie. One of the things I enjoy talking about is like, which school was your favorite? Because now it's neighborhood schools,
right?
We went to every school.
I went to every school.
Like some kids don't get to go to every school. Did you go to Banner?
I went to Banner.
Oh, wow.
Kindergarten. And then, then I went to Central.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to Cotterill.
Yes.
And I went to Fogarty.
Uh-huh.
But then I went to Guest the first year it was open.
I was about to say, see, here's where it gets tricky. I don't know if you want to Guest or Favor.
I never went to Favor.
Okay.
And then, of course, the junior high and the high school. And so which would be my favorite? That's a really tough question.
Uh-huh.
I mean, part of me says the junior high. And I don't know why. Maybe I had a lot of fun there with friends.
Yeah.
Cafeteria was kind of cool down in the basement. They had a salad bar. I could always get a salad.
The cafeteria is kind of cool because you kind of walk down into it.
Yeah.
And there was something cool about that. You're right.
And of course you had all the stairs. You got to go up and down the stairs. Try not to fall.
Yep. Then back then, so when you were in school versus when I was in school, there used to be A and B. Was it A, B, and C? Like they did the floors A, B, and C?
So there was the 7th grade floor and the 8th grade floor.
Okay.
And there was probably some mixtures in there too.
Yeah.
That I remember, but
yeah, they tried to keep
the different
grades. Yeah. No, it's been a long while. That's really, I'm maybe saying things because I learned it from my kids when they were at the junior.
Maybe so.
It had nothing to do with when I was at the junior. No, another thing that stands out to me about the junior high is whenever it would rain and you all had to go in the gym. Is that what you all did?
Well, I'm sure we did.
Yeah. You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I remember at lunch, so you could go to the cafeteria, and then you went outside, and of course they had the concessions next to the gym, so we were in there a lot, probably if it rained.
Oh yeah. No, so we used to go in the gym if it rained, and it would be so packed.
So the other part of the junior high is my grandma actually went to high school there.
Oh
yeah. And so that brings some thought and some memory to that too, is wow, my grandma went to school here at the junior high. It was a high school then.
That's pretty cool.
I don't remember when she graduated, but
it had to be.
Well, she was born in like 1912, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or 1920 maybe. I don't remember. Long time ago.
Because my mom, who was not, born in the 50s, of course, she at that time was at Faber, and then when they integrated the schools, she ended up going to the high school, but she was born in 54. So, and my grandfather, who was born in 32, I don't think he went to high school. I think he went to Douglas High School in Oklahoma City. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like when you know the history.
Some history.
Yeah, that is really cool. So do you have any teachers that come to mind pretty quickly when you're thinking about Guthrie schools? Which ones stand out?
Ooh, a favorite teacher? Yeah, that's always tough too. But I think of Mrs. Ireton. Taught math in high school, math analysis and calculus. I never liked math, but she taught it and made it fun. And it was tough math.
Yeah.
And she was always willing to teach and make sure you understood it and let you have fun with it too. So Mrs. Ireton, yeah.
Miss Ireton is getting a lot of shout outs. When I ask people, like Miss Ireton is one of those ones. I never had her because I never had math analysis or calculus or trig. I think she may have also taught trig. Like those were not in my.
That was not Hetty's classes.
Once they told me I could get in college after taking geometry, I was like, oh, I'm done. Why would I even keep going? Like math was not. Yeah, math was not something that just came easy to me. And then when I got to college, I tried to pick a major where I was not going to have to do any math. So I was running for math all of my life. And so, but I had uncles. My uncle had Miss Ireton, and then of course she was a great teacher just in general.
Absolutely.
That people knew. So yeah, Miss Ireton was another one stood out to you.
I don't know. Mrs. Wayner, 5th grade teacher.
Okay.
I think, she gave us a lot of freedom in class, but made us learn as well. And even for years afterwards, I would see her around town and always made sure to keep up with where she was in life. And so some of her kids are still around too. Uh-huh. And, Mrs. Wayner was special too.
Yeah. Now, one of the big things that I'm learning is that our homecoming is a big deal. Like when people move out of Guthrie and they go to other towns or something like that, they be like, man, I did not realize like Guthrie really makes a big deal out of our homecoming, which is amazing.
Right.
And a big part of it was just the parade. So now when you were in school, this may be different from you now, but do y'all have a parade spot as a family that whenever you show up for a parade, 89ers, homecoming, whatever now, that you all go and.
Man, that is such a Guthrie thing. Do you have a spot for your parade?
Yeah. Do you have a parade spot?
And you say that, and then what immediately comes to mind is in front of Furrow's Flowers, which isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So I've had to change our spot.
Yeah.
I found myself at 89ers this year going, where do we go? So we picked a spot over by Golden Age.
The other age we get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying all spots are good spots. Of course, like in front of your building, where your business at, it's not a great spot. By that time, it's
starting to disperse.
Yeah. So, but that would be the perfect spot for you if it wasn't right.
Right, and we do park there, so I've always got a parking place.
Oh, that's good. Now, talking about you having a building, talk about your current job and kind of tell us how you landed there.
All right, so optometrist, co-owner at Guthrie Vision Source, been there 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so Dr. Bennett has been there longer. And when I left Guthrie to go to college, didn't have thought that, I'm moving back to my hometown to practice when I get out. But Dr.
But when
Bennett,
you graduated, not to cut
Yeah.
you off, but when you graduated, you knew that you wanted to be an eye doctor.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I really felt God called me to help people see and to see his creation and this world. And so went down that path and made it happen and went all the way through. And you start getting to the end of school and all your classmates are starting to find out where they're going. And you're thinking, where am I going to go? Well, Dr. Bennett, I knew him from the days of him being my doctor and through my involvement with DMLA as a teen. And he had a good offer. Thought going back to my hometown would be fun. And so here I landed, and there I've been since, and going the business with him. And I own the building we're in. There, have a historic downtown building, and love it.
That's super cool. Now, what grade did you know, like, I'm going to go to school? And the reason I'm asking this is, like, you knew you were going to be an eye doctor. At least that's what you wanted to pursue. Did that change how you approached school at that time? Or was that, were you not thinking on that level?
I was a senior when I decided that's the route I wanted to go. I knew I liked science. I wanted to go to the medical field. And so by the time I was a senior, that's when I was deciding, yes, eye doctor's where I wanted to go. I always thought the optometrist, the dentist, they're not gone late nights and weekends. They're usually pretty involved in the community and well respected.
Yeah.
And so that was the route that I felt like I wanted to go. Now, it didn't change in high school that I was going to go that route.
Yeah.
But in college, I had my thoughts of different routes. But it did. It made my perspective on where am I going to go to school? What classes am I going to take?
So when you got to college, you did consider maybe doing something differently? Like, what else?
Medical school versus optometry school. Maybe I wanted to do pharmacy school. I went to Southwestern Oklahoma State University. Okay. They had a pharmacy school, so I had a lot of friends doing that. But it was still in the same realm.
Yeah. Health industry. Yeah. How many years is it to become now? Like, you get your grad?
So undergraduate,
then
4 years bachelor's degree, and then a 4-year optometry school.
Oh, wow.
So 8 years total.
Wow. That's a lot of school.
It is. And now I look back and go, that was short compared to where I've been out now. So,
okay. Versus, because you've been out 18, you took 8 years. You're not that old, are you? You start adding up these numbers.
I graduated from Guthrie High School in 98.
Oh, did you really?
I did. I'm 44.
So you went to school with my wife for a little bit.
I just look young.
You do look young. But do you remember Bernadette in high school?
I do.
Okay.
I think she was probably a junior, senior when I was probably a freshman.
Oh, she graduated in 95. So
95, somewhere there.
Yeah. She was probably a junior or something like that. You got any stories on it you want to share? You remember? No.
I don't have any stories. She would kill me.
But I'm not telling you.
After we're done recording.
That is so funny. Okay. What is something unique about being an eye doctor? What's something like we don't think about when it comes to being an eye doctor?
A lot of people think, oh, you're just doing glasses, you're doing contact lenses, but there's a lot more to it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we can see a lot of things through the eyes. It's not just the windows to the soul. I mean, it tells you what your body's got going on. Maybe you have diabetes, maybe you've had a stroke. And so there's some very intense moments where you're trying to help someone out on why they're having problems or given news that you wouldn't expect. And so that can be unique. There's also, I'd say, a lot of responsibility in our profession as a whole on where we're going to be a part of the medical community and how do we help people along the way. There's actually some politics involved in that. Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd be having to know all of my representatives and senators and be in a closer relationship with them. But that's part of being in a profession that tends to be leaders.
Yeah. That interesting you say that, because I remember when I ran for office, like it was interesting, like these different associations were reaching out to me, like pharmacy association, chiropractor, and because there's different things that impact how they do their work.
That's right.
That's influenced by a politician. And so it was cool to kind of learn, like, that's one of the things that was really like, oh, I never would have thought about it if I wouldn't have never ran for office, that these different people have these different motivations to be involved in politics.
Politics is a whole different ballgame, isn't it?
A whole different, and so So, but it was really cool to kind of learn that, and I get it. It's like teachers, eye doctor, dentists, all of them have, especially when it comes to insurance and things like that.
Yeah, it impacts our livelihood and what we can do.
Yeah, for sure. Thinking about you, because you're my doctor and my family doctor, and my son came home the other day after coming to see you, and he was talking about his eyes being like not, I guess, off balance or something like that. I was like,
misaligned.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world? I didn't know your eyes can be misaligned.
Yeah, we've got some new technology. It's not new to know that your eyes can be misaligned.
Well, it's new for me.
There's some new technology out there that's measuring that differently through a VR headset, actually. And so keeping up with technology is another piece that I never thought I'd have to know. Yeah. As an eye doctor, I'd have to keep up with technology and know how to run a computer well and some of these things, but we do. It keeps us moving forward.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool when I came in the other day and I saw the VR headset. He's like, put this on. I'm like, really? Like, we about to use this VR? Because I'm using the VR headset at the house for games and all these different things.
I'm going to put one on. We're going to fight. Yeah. No, that's not what we're doing.
No, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And so, because you have another cool machine that I used to come in and I would sit down in and it would do something. And I don't know if the thing was not working or whatever, but then they gave me the VR headset and I was like, oh, this is really cool.
I tested your peripheral side vision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. So, but because of that kind of tech, how do you keep up with all that?
A lot of continuing education and conferences. Well, it keeps us abreast of what's new and upcoming. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just have to say, yeah, I'm going to embrace this technology. We're going to try it out and see how well it works. Yeah. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't.
For sure. Yeah. Like anything.
Or it's a fad.
It's a fad. It only lasted for a little bit. And we're going to move on back to the dinosaurs that are like, pull out those old machines. we're going to come back to that because, even my glasses, like there's just so much new technology and things like that for people. And I just want to see what you think about that. But I want to go back to your family. I want to know, I'm always curious how you met your wife.
Well, we met in college. Cute girl moved next door.
So did you holler at her or did she holler at you?
Well, so, I probably chased her first. I always say, but she was still a little immature for me. She's younger. She says that's not the story. Oh. Eventually, she started coming around and fostered friendships. We had mutual friends and realized, this is the right way for both of us to go. So we were friends first, and met in college, and now we've been married almost 21 years.
Oh, 20. So you're going on 21?
Going on 21.
My wife and I are going on 21.
In June.
June, okay. My wife's 21 in November.
Nice.
Yeah, 2003.
It's been bliss, hasn't it? Feels like 100 years.
Goodness. It feels... I don't know. Which way should I go?
Feels like yesterday. Maybe it's a good way.
Yesterday. I'm going to go with feels like yesterday. It feels like 100 years with it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But, cool. So you get married June 2003.
2003.
Yep. And then...
I was still in optometry school. She was still in college.
Yeah.
So we were poor college students.
How do you... Now we're going to get into your children. This kind of made me start thinking about my children because your children. How many children do y'all have?
9. That's a lot. That's a big number.
Man, my heart dropped. 9 children?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Ages range from 18 to 2.
18 to 2?
Now, we've adopted 4 of those children.
It don't matter. They're still yours.
They're still mine. They're all mine.
That's a lot.
It is. It's never a dull moment at our house.
No. And all the different personalities. How do you manage that as a dad?
Well, they all have a different personality. Mm-hmm. It's unique. Keeping up with them, you definitely have to reach out and work on those relationships and make a point to do something with them, to talk to them, to understand them. And so there's sacrifice involved in that, but there's a lot of family time.
Yeah.
And managing that, it's great when those babies, we call them babies, the 2 and 3 year old boys, when they go to bed, it's like, we can breathe. And now we can talk to the teenagers and get involved in their life, and that's it. I really like to be involved with my kids, and they like having dad involved. They really do.
Yeah. Girls and boys, what's the difference in raising girls versus boys? We were just talking about this earlier.
Wow. Boys, you just have to keep them alive, right? They're fun, but you got to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Girls, they're a lot more emotional.
Yeah.
Right. So they're maybe easier to keep alive, but you got to keep up with the emotions and where they are. There's a lot of differences. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah.
No, I love them both.
Love them both. I remember my daughter, she was 6 years old, and I go to wake her up, and she starts crying like when I wake her up, and like she's 6 years old. And I'm really trying to, do the best I can to make it through this morning. And she says, "Dad, you just don't understand. Where's Mom?" And I was like, oh my. I knew then, like, it's a lot different way different than having a boy.
Oh, sure.
And even now, like now that she is 17, then I have an 18, then I have a 25-year-old. And oh my goodness, it's still just different from her than her brothers.
Now, you mentioned she's looking for Mom. Let me tell you. So my 2-year-old, he and I bonded early on. He's one of our adopted kiddos. And after he was born, he had jaundice and had to be in the hospital. And this was one of those things that was around COVID time. Everybody's still kind of worried about this. And I end up at the hospital with him. And then my wife we were going to tap out. I was going to leave, but then she had a little bit of a fever. And I spent like 3 days in the hospital with the clothes on my back, taking care of this young man when he was days old. Well, he like imprinted on me. And so now I'm his go-to. I'm his mom.
Yeah.
It's tough being a mom. He wants me for everything, not just the fun. He wants me for if he's hurt, I'm his guy. Yeah. I'm his mom. And I'm like, man, more respect for Mom than I've ever had. It took 9 kids to figure it out.
Yeah, but you finally understand.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
It's exhausting.
It's still not quite the same as being a mom.
But I love it.
Yeah, no, but that was like, oh my goodness. But thinking about the emotions, like that's what it was. Her emotions. She understood that I didn't understand where she was at in that moment emotionally, and so I never woke her up again. It was all Mom. I'm like, I'm not waking.
This is your turn, Mom. You got to go wake her up. I can't handle it.
Yeah. She's all yours from here on out. Still that way to a certain degree. So. Talking about raising the difference between boys and girls. Now, I know you have 9, and not everybody's willing to say this. Do you have a favorite child?
Do I have a favorite child?
You saw his face when he first said it, right? You saw his face. Now, watch his answer.
I'd like to... It depends on the day. We always say the baby's the favorite.
Always say the baby.
Because we love babies. I'm sure the kids could say Dad's got a favorite.
Oh, who would they? Okay, let's say this. Who would the kids say?
They'd probably say Jordan, my oldest.
Oh, okay.
But then they'd probably say no, it's Evelyn over here, or maybe no, it's Cruz, the youngest. So
you see how he just played that? It's Jordan. It's Jordan. I have a favorite child, and I'm okay with admitting it, but people were like, well, that's easy because she's my youngest and she's my only girl.
Well, there you go. That makes that easy.
Yeah, but she's my favorite. And my boys know it.
They're all unique. And so
she's my favorite.
She's your favorite. You just straight up. More power to you. The one that takes care of me when I'm old is
right. And that's some of it. I just don't see my boys taking care of me. I think that my daughter will take good care of me anyway.
Well, I'm sure she will.
She will now, for sure, because I've been bribing her all of her life by saying she's my favorite child. Yeah. Okay, so growing up in Guthrie, what did you do for fun? Like, I feel like when I graduated to now, like nobody's hanging out downtown at the Sonic, Walmart parking lot, cruising.
Oh yeah, there was Walmart parking lot hanging out. I didn't do that so much.
Okay.
I worked a lot when I was in high school. I worked at Homeland. Now Cash Savers.
Yeah.
And so I hung out there a lot. But we hung out after school. I'm trying to think where there's always country roads.
Oh.
And there was going fishing at the lake, or I have a pond where I grew up. So there was a lot of that hanging out. But I remember working a lot at Homeland. We always had good fun there too. I'm sure there was stories I probably shouldn't share, but it's fun to hang out with your coworkers. It makes work go faster.
Yeah,
and that was probably the most of it that I could think of. Church league softball. I remember a lot of church league softball. Do we still do church league softball? Yeah.
I don't know if they still do. They?
We had church league softball, basketball, volleyball. We did it all.
I think they quit calling it church league because you go out there and you're like, this doesn't feel very church. I think the leagues are still there.
Don't let that be our witness.
I still think they call them church leagues anymore. There's still leagues out there, I think, but
I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm like, is this church league softball? What in the world?
It was competitive.
It was very competitive. A lot of forgiveness was needed after some of those.
Still is.
Yeah, all the time. So I know that you have a passion for investing in the next generation, young people.
That's right.
Did that come out of having children? Kind of tell me where that came from and the why behind it.
Wow, the why behind investing in children. Yes, I'd say having children, having plenty of them. I definitely I have passion for my family and I want to see them succeed. And so to be involved with them has taken me along the way to be involved in their organization. I'm not one that likes to sit to the sideline. It's like, if we're going to do karate, I want to do karate. If we're going to be a part of trail life, it's like a scouting organization. I'm going to be involved and I'm going to go camp and I'm going to do everything the kids are going to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm involved with our community church youth group, Catalyst, as one of the leaders and taking students on short-term mission trips. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a big kid and I want to be part of it. And I get to say I can be the adult in the room.
No, I think, but what I hear you saying, I think is so true because I see a lot of parents who are involved and then once their children are gone, like they just move on to the next thing because, Grinch or whatever the case may be.
Oh, sure.
But oftentimes our children kind of help guide us through those seasons of life. But not saying that all parents jump in and get involved, especially not with youth. But you've been doing it for a long time, for a while. I
have been.
And so I just think that's really cool. I just want to give you your flowers for doing that.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
I think it keeps me young and keeps me active, keeps me challenged. Youth are challenging. They will make you stop and think about what you believe and what you're doing in life. And so it makes me stay on my toes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Tell me, what's your favorite thing about your wife?
What's my favorite thing about my wife? Besides that, she's beautiful.
Besides that, she's beautiful. That would not, if I say, honey, you're so beautiful, she's like, tell me something else.
She's a lovely human being. She loves her children fiercely.
Yeah.
And just will do anything for them. I think that's what I love the most. It's just watching her care for our kids.
Yeah.
She schools them. She takes care of them. She is in it deep with them every day and absolutely will go to the moon and back for them if need be. She will fight.
Yeah. Same with my wife. I love how my wife just loves our family. Like she does it so well. And then also that pours over into other people's lives. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how do you do it? But she does.
That's right. And my wife's not shy. She will be willing to share our story and the woes that we have, the good, the bad, the ugly. And if that helps somebody else, then so be it. And that's what her hope is. And I love seeing that. And everybody tells her a lot of times, you should write a book. And it's like, when do I have time to do that? Number one. But I think it's because it helps knowing that you've traveled this path to share is just huge. And I love that about her.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. There's so many questions. So let me see. I want to go let's go entrepreneur.
Okay.
Let's go business.
Because
you're an eye doctor, but you work in the business. We just had Paul the barber on, and he talked about he's the talent. Because you're the talent as well, but you still got to work on the business side of things. Right?
That's right.
And so as an entrepreneur, balancing the two, how do you do that?
Oh, yeah. So that takes some challenge to that because there's doctor mode where I'm taking care of people, taking care of patients. But a lot of times in between patients, there's questions coming from my staff. There's thoughts of what we can do better. I've set aside time where I'm not doing all patient care, that I can concentrate on the business. I can meet with staff, and we can make decisions. And that's the part I really love, is that being a business owner, looking at the business side, is I'm directly involved with the decisions that we make. And I love to dream. I love to dream about what's next. What are we going to do from here? And then planning that out, and how do we implement that and put that to action?
Yeah.
I love all that part of it. And so I have freedom to do that as owner in the business. And comes with a lot of responsibility too. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But you always learn, and you want to move forward in success.
Yeah. Yeah. That failing forward is a big part of being a business owner, right?
It is.
Did you just come out of school kind of being aware that you're going to have to juggle this patient care, but then business side of it? Was that taught to you at school? When did you start learning how to do that? Not perfect, but better.
That was taught. We did have a class in optometry school about the business side. And optometry is still a profession that has a lot of private practice. Now, not as much as it used to, definitely more than, say, pharmacy or some of our other healthcare.
When you say private practice,
that means it's owned by the doctors.
Okay.
It's not owned by a corporation or part of a larger entity of any kind. It's privately owned, so the doctors have complete vested interest in it.
Yeah.
So as a kid, we talk about entrepreneurship. I always liked business. My family always tells stories how family would come to our house, and at some point I'd come out with my little piggy bank and ask for money, or I'd try to sell them candy or whatever I had. And so I think that entrepreneur spirit's always been back there. My dad had a sign shop that was his own, and so he owned a business. And so I just think it was part of life, of what that was. So I didn't think of it anything differently, that I wouldn't go that route.
Yeah. No, and it seems like most entrepreneurs all have that story of like, yeah, I used to sell lemonade on the side of the road. You know, it's like, I always knew. Were you that way? Were you selling stuff no? Because you're an entrepreneur. You've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but you weren't that way. You kind of, yeah.
I did my first wedding when I was 13. But
that's early enough. You were that way.
But you sold something in
you
general.
thought of a different way.
You were thinking about, like, how can I make money off this? Because I think you tell me the first time you sold a print or something like that. When did you tell? For 50 cents. Yeah. Yeah. So those kind of things, it seems like, start really young and early for entrepreneurs.
It's just somehow God-given, ingrained with it.
Yeah. That's really cool.
But it can be learned and then refined at the same time, right?
Yeah. So even though you may not have had that in you, for those people who want to be entrepreneurs, like, you can learn it. It's a skill that you can definitely learn.
Yeah, it's a skill that you can pick up along the way. As long as you have a motivation behind it, you can do anything.
Or solving a problem, right? It makes it easier if you can solve a problem and then put a fee to that.
Talking about solving a problem, I mean, being an eye doctor, I'm solving problems. People come to me every day, all day long.
Yeah,
they've got a problem. I need to decide what that is and figure out how to make a solution for that. And it carries right along into business. It's the same thing. We've got a problem. We need to make a solution. And so those coincide. You just get in this realm of thinking, I'm a problem solver. How can I think through this logically with the information I have and the tools I have at hand? It goes together.
Yeah. Before we get into the next one, what have you found? What's your main strength in leading a team? Because how many employees is there?
Let's see. There's 12 employees plus the doctor. So there's really about 15 of us.
Yeah.
And so my main strength is I like to listen and get their input. And then I try to really help my team members, guiding them in a way that they're bought in.
Yeah.
They have an idea. Maybe I prompted some of that idea, and I'm going to bring them alongside to help us come together and think that through far enough that maybe they think it's their idea all the way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to support them in all the way and be okay with whatever the outcome is.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I get to a point with a team member that they've got an idea and I'm supporting them all the way that I say, we have to stop. I've made inroads and shown them how to navigate this, that the outcome's going to be okay, whatever it is. Maybe it doesn't look like the same path I would have taken, but if the outcome is good, I'm on board with that.
Yeah. No, that's a big deal. And I say that all the time. It's like, it doesn't have to be my idea. I just know that we want to get to those pair of glasses, and how we get there, as long as it's legit and everything, let's do it.
That's
because
right.
if I'm having to tell every time how to get to the glasses and things like that, I feel like we don't grow. But I think
That's true.
Yeah.
I like to see my team grow in themselves, in what they're doing, not just doing what I say, but I want to see them grow and become more. And consequently, we've had employees, team members that have come work for us, and they've learned a passion in the industry, and they've moved on.
Yeah.
They're going on and working better ways and doing different things, and more power to them.
Yeah.
I still support them. We're still friends.
Yeah.
And some of them have come back to work with us and learn something along the way that they can now bring back. But I'm always for someone growing and learning and being about whatever their feet can stand on.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right. I have some questions here. It's kind of like either or. And you can go in depth with them, or you can just give a quick answer. Okay. Apple or Android?
Apple. Because I don't like to change. I started with an iPhone. I don't want to mess with an Android. Learning something new. Are we going to have contention here?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to move on to the next question. You're very confident, though.
We already talked about that.
Very confident. What's the app you can't live without?
The app I can't live without. YouVersion is one I can't live without. I use that all the time. My reminder app I use a lot because I can't keep up with remembering everything.
Do you use the native reminder app on your Apple phone?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. It's
like
a good
I said, I'm not that techie. I'm not going to get into it too far. I'm used to it. I'm going to stick with it.
What's available right here?
Exactly.
That's good. Do you have a book you most suggest to others outside of the Bible?
Ooh, a book I most suggest to others. I've read a lot of books. Trying to think of one right now that was really good. Authors Jocko Willink. Oh, what was that book? He's a Navy SEAL.
Was it the 5 a.m.?
He gets up at 5 a.m. before the enemy. Works out. That's what he says.
Yeah, didn't he write a book like 5 a.m. something?
It's a leadership book.
Yeah.
There's another one that he's...
Or did he write the 100X?
He may have been one of those books too.
Okay.
I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. Too many books in my head.
So you don't suggest that one a lot. It's just one.
Apparently I haven't in a while. I've given
that one book. Yeah.
I've given it out a few times. Discipline is Freedom is one that he wrote too.
Okay, let's ask this. Best dating advice you give.
Best dating advice
that you give.
Oh, so I've had to have this conversation with my teenage boys a little bit. Think of it as being friends first. That's where you want to go. Be friends. If you can't be friends, then maybe it's not going to be a good long-term relationship. So think of it as, this is friends. We just want to get to know each other a little bit further. What is it that you want to get out of calling it dating?
Yeah.
Right. It's taking it to that next level that we're ready to say we're more than just friends, but we're still friends.
Yeah, so that's the way my wife and I did it as well. And then my friends started saying, "Oh, what are y'all, life partners?" You know, they started I guess, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess maybe so, but
yeah, we're just friends though. We're not dating. Don't try to put anything on us. You're like, what are y'all, life partners? So that's good. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you put anything in your coffee?
No, black.
Just straight black. Okay.
Tastes better that way.
Okay.
I will go with a latte every now and then.
You know, here recently, I would drink mine straight black, but my wife has this heavy whipping cream that she gets from Walmart. And so I started, she was gone and she was gone for a few days. She went skiing. I just want to do something to help me.
And you miss Bernadette.
Yeah, I missed her.
So you really wanted.
So I wanted something and I put heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I didn't put any sugar, but just a heavy whipping cream. And like, now I'm like, oh, this might be my favorite drink.
Ooh.
It's really good. I like it.
You caught on to something.
Yeah.
She's on to something.
Yeah, she's on to something. Yeah. I was like, I'm scared to put sugar in it. Then I'll become, I can't do that.
No, you can't go that far.
I can't do that.
You
I'm just going to leave it a heavy whipping cream. Night owl or early bird?
Oh, night owl. 100%.
Wow. What's one thing on your bucket list?
One thing on my bucket list?
Yeah.
Oh, I would like to visit Machu Picchu. That would be fun.
Tell
That's
me
in
more
Peru.
about it. Okay.
I don't know why. It's just always something I would like to go see that place. It's way up in the mountains. I like to travel. I like to explore. And so that would be one on my bucket list.
Would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Probably the future.
Really? Most people want to go to the past. Can I ask why you think the future?
The past is what it is. It's made me who I am. There's some things I'd like to go see in the past. History is interesting, but I'd also like to see, where are we? Where am I? Where are my kids in the future?
Okay.
Did we do right by it?
I'm not messing with the future.
I don't want to change it necessarily. I don't want to go make a change in the future.
You go see me like come back and be like,
oh, I learned something. Let me change this now.
It would be hard to have to change something.
That's true.
I think. I mean, just being human, understanding salvation and who I am as a person, it would be real.
Let's just stay right in the present. Live life as it is.
Let's do what it is. Yeah. Sweet or salty snacks?
Salty. I'm a savory kind of guy.
Okay.
Salty nuts, tortilla chips, salsa. That's my game.
That's it. All day. What's one superpower you wish you had?
Oh, that's a good question. My wife and I were just talking about that because somebody said they'd want a superpower of being able to see what other people are thinking about them or thinking. I'm like, nope. Flying might be fun.
I don't want to know what nobody's thinking, especially not about me.
No.
Yeah, flying would be fun. I think
that'd be it.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you that you're willing to share?
Most embarrassing thing that's happened to me. Nothing comes to mind right off the bat.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Dogs or cats?
I like them both. Dogs are fun. I'd go with dogs first.
Okay. Call or text?
Text.
Favorite childhood cartoon?
Favorite childhood cartoon? Man, I loved the Ghostbusters when I was a kid. I love the Ghostbusters cartoon. But, I still like good old Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny.
Okay.
Tom and Jerry.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert. Somewhat introverted at times.
So, just kind of depends.
Depends on the mood. Depends on the crowd.
If you could write a note to your younger self, what would you say in one sentence?
Don't worry about what others think about you.
Do you think that impacts people from moving forward and what maybe God's called them to,
Yeah, and you spend a lot of time just worrying about what others think you look like, or am I making the right decision? Is someone going to judge me on that? And so those are the things I think about of not to worry, that if you're confident in this is the right move, God's got me moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Others may look at you weird.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it. If you're moving with God, then it's right.
Yeah. And that comes back to that confidence, like what you're talking about. Yeah, that's good. What's a fear you've had to overcome?
A fear that I've had to overcome? That would be that I'm making the right decisions, whether it's for family, for business. Yeah. There's a lot of decisions to be made. There's a lot on my shoulders with 9 kids, a business, taking care of people.
Yeah.
And
salaries.
Right. And just and I'm always making the wrong decision.
Yeah. Yeah. What's a moment you'd go back to and relive if you could?
Probably spending more time with my dad. He passed away when I was 17.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What's a small act of kindness that had a big impact on you? That's a hard question.
That's a hard question.
It
I'd
is.
have to think on that.
Yeah, you have to think.
Just someone even specifically telling me how I'm doing a good job. Not just necessarily good job, but something very specific. Like, that builds me up. Like, you're a smart man. You can figure this out, is something my wife said one time. And just that's resounded with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. What brings you the most joy in life?
Seeing others succeed. That's part of it. Seeing others have joy with Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially watching, of most recent, I love watching the youth step out of their comfort zone and do something that maybe they aren't willing to do, but they know that it's a good thing. Like taking youth on a mission trip and watching them do something for the Lord and that they're passionate about, that maybe it's talking to somebody and they don't talk to people. And to watch them do that is just, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool to see somebody come out of their shell.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so we got about 3 more questions, but I got to talk about my glasses first.
Yeah.
Being an eye doctor, and I know you have the. So I love that when you get done with somebody, you walk them over to the glasses and you hand off the folder.
Hand it over.
Yeah, you hand it over.
Explain what you need.
You hand the people over to the people who are going to help you find your glasses. I love that.
It's kind of special.
Yeah, I like that handoff. But so I'm wearing the Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
This is
so
new.
I can list new. I can hear people talk to me if somebody calls. I can take pictures. I can ask it what's in front of me. All these things. Where do you think glasses are going? Do you think that we're going to get to the place to where I can not need my laptop and see something? And I mean, this is more so the frame, but do you think glasses are
have
going
like a pop-up display feature, right? I think that's in the works at some place.
Yeah.
Right. And it could go that far. There's a lot to that. It's amazing where technology's taken it, though. Just even with the Metas, it's amazing where it's gone. And just being able to have that technology packed into the glasses on your face and to be able to hear, to take pictures and videos and ask it questions and get some feedback is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's happened rapidly.
Yeah.
There's some new glasses that we're going to be bringing into our office too that are actually hearing aid glasses. They look like your Metas and it's not in your ear at all, but it's allowing sound to be projected into your ears for those that have mild to moderate hearing loss. And it depends on where you're looking. It'll pick up a conversation across the room and it's all packed into the frame. And it's similar to the Metas.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Metas I can hear. I mean, it's more so of a call coming in, not just like us sitting here now and it's not amplifying it. But I mean, yeah, it's already.
But this amplifies it.
Yeah.
And the Metas are cool. I won't be surprised if those two merge. The same company has them at this stage. I'm sure there's works being done for the pop-up display. It's a lot more difficult because there's a lot of dynamic going on within the lens technology, plus on what that does for how your eyes are working to see that and not be distracting.
Yeah. But even the lens itself, the technology in the lenses now, like I have a progressive lens.
That's right. You said it right.
Yeah, and so I can see different variations up close, far, all that's built in this lens. But even like I have transition glasses, so the transition of them going from clear to dark, now there's technology. I think I'm going to get these changed out that it's even quicker to even make that
That's right.
transition.
So progressive lenses for that no-line bifocal for you to see far and near has been around for a long time, 20, 30 years. It's not new technology, but it's vastly improved in the last few years, where it's a lot more adaptable. You can see wider ranges. The transitions have been around for a long time, so it can darken, but it's a lot faster and you can get it in different colors. And so the technology's there.
Yeah.
And being able to understand what is there and what's right for folks is sometimes a challenge. And whether it's part of your likes or dislikes, that's all wrapped up together, but it's a lot, there's a lot more that can be used for more people now than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's not just for certain subsets.
Yeah.
Most people can benefit from that technology change.
Yeah, no, and I just think it's really cool. Just I go in about once a year, have my eyes checked, and there's just this new advancement.
At least once a year.
At least. Do I come more? I think it's once a year.
You should come at least once a year.
Oh, at least I come once a year.
Shameless plug. Every year you need your eyes examined more often if you're having problems.
You should be seeing your eye doctor once a year
For your health and wellness.
For your health and wellness, they can discover other things that could be impacting your body. Yeah, but it's just cool to see the advancement when I come in. I like technology. I like to learn about it. You know, I don't spend a whole bunch of time with this specific type of technology, but it's cool to hear.
Those glasses were the first time I had tried any metas on. Do you remember this? You brought them into our office, and I tried them on, and about that time, the phone rings in them, and I touched it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's Bernadette. And I go, hey, baby, how you doing? And she's like, who is this? I go, oh, Bernadette, you know who this is. She goes, no, I don't. I said, it's really fun. She was calling you. And so I think she was thoroughly confused.
Yeah,
go,
she was.
Oh, this is Dr. Padgham. You know who this is. And she goes, oh, if you would have said, is it better number 1 or number 2, I would have had it. I'm like,
that's how she remembers your voice.
That's how she remembers me.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, before we go, a couple of questions. We use the hashtag sometimes community wins. We have it at the chamber where community wins. What does community wins mean to you?
Community wins means, all together, looking at our community and being involved, we're all going to win in some form or fashion. I mean, being a part of Guthrie, being involved, that's what I say. If you're going to be here, be present, be involved with the activities, be a part of the community, because it only serves to grow that way. Yeah. We support each other. I love being a part of Guthrie. Yeah. There's a lot of different events that occur here, and I really do just love to get out, take my family out in the community when there's something going on, and just seeing the people that are around. Maybe they're not all Guthrie folks, but to smile at them, greet them, go into our local shops and stores, see what they've got to offer, buy something. My kids love the Licorice Man. They beg to go in there all the time. Rick and Shree.
I love how people call him the Licorice Man. Like, people always refer to him. Yeah, we look to see the Licorice Man.
They're always like, eat whatever you want. You don't have to buy everything. I'm like, no, I still want to buy something too, but I'm walking out of here full, and I love it. My pants are probably a little tighter after I leave, but community wins for sure. This week we had an opportunity for our team to enter the bed race. I'd always wanted to do that. We did. We came in 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Who won?
We came in 4th out of 4, but Mercy won. We learned a lot. We are going to do better next year. And I hope to get like a dozen beds. There was only 4 beds racing this year. I want to see a dozen of us get out there and race.
There used to be more. We used to do it. We need to do it again.
That's right. It's just a lot of fun. We had a good time, and it's such a Guthrie thing. I've talked to other people, and they're like, bed race, what's that? And I'm like, okay, so never mind. It's something we do.
Explain it. Yeah.
Red Brick Nights. We support that and put on our advertisement. Not necessarily because I expect to gain a lot of patients from Red Brick Nights. I'm not selling something on the street when I'm out there, but it's about community.
Yeah.
I know my dollars are going to go to support our community. I just love that we can come together and we can enjoy each other. And that's what I want to see. And that's why we support like we do and be involved is we want to take care of each other.
That's good. And I think a lot of what you just said probably come and play with this next question as well. But, one of the reasons I love you is because you have this particular sign up in your window, and that is the Choose Guthrie sign. Right. What does Choose Guthrie sign mean to you? What does that mean when you see that?
Well, so Choose Guthrie, we know we could go to Oklahoma City, Edmond. We've got a lot of opportunity, but there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah.
I try to do business here. I live here. I play here. I go to Walmart here, and I see patients here, and sometimes they recognize me and sometimes they don't. Because I choose to be a part of our community.
Yeah.
I get my tires here, and I know I could get things cheaper somewhere else, but I know the people that are taking care of my vehicles, that are taking care of my kids, and they're willing to turn around and take care of me.
Yeah.
Sometimes if a circumstance comes up, I can't get to my vehicle to pick it up. I've had it delivered to my house before, or to my business, or someone will drop off something. I order some coffee beans online and it shows up at my office. I didn't have to go pick it up or pay for shipping.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's the little things. We take care of each other.
Yeah.
I've taken glasses to people's homes or gone by a nursing home to take care of somebody before because they asked me, and I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
And I hope we all are. And that's what we choose Guthrie. We do it here.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate that. Any last words? Do you want to tell people where they can find you online or anything like that?
So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Guthrie Vision Source, www.visionsource-guthrie is our website. You can find us there. We're willing to reach out if you reach out to us to answer questions, and we put promotions out there. My office manager, Lisa Walls, has been really good at putting stuff out on social media recently and showcasing some of our frames and our services and who we are as a team.
Yep. And you can actually get these glasses at your, this,
You
which
can
is
get them
pretty
with
cool
us.
that I can get these in Guthrie.
That's right.
And so I think that's really cool. Thank you for the work that you do. And I hope
welcome.
you all continue to provide great service.
We will. As long
My
as we
family
can.
and I are going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming.
We
So
appreciate it.
thank you, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for hitting that play button for another episode of the Guthrie America podcast. Here's the question. Wait, let me say this. Our mission is to have every story told. And here's the question. Will yours be next?